All right, so welcome everyone. Get ready, because today we're diving deep, really deep, into something pretty fascinating. We're talking about the evolution of computers.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We've gone from these massive room-sized machines to, well, look, you're probably listening to this on a device that fits right in your pocket.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right, to think how much things have changed and so quickly.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. How did we get from point A to point B, and maybe even more importantly, where are we headed next?
Lots to uncover.
Okay, so to kick things off, let's travel way back in time, like way back to the 19th century. There was this guy, Charles Babbage, a real visionary, and he came up with this incredible invention.
I know where you're going with this, the analytical engine.
You got it, the analytical engine. Now imagine this, a computer made entirely of gears and levers, like something straight out of a steampunk novel.
It was a mechanical marvel, for sure. It's interesting, though, Babbage never actually finished building it. Yeah, it was way ahead of its time, both in concept and complexity. But even though it never came to life, his blueprints, his designs, they laid the foundation for everything that followed.
So it was like the seed that eventually blossomed into the computers we use today.
Exactly. It established core computing concepts that are still relevant.
Okay, so from Babbage, let's jump ahead to the 1940s, a time of, well, a lot of global upheaval, but also a time of incredible intellectual leaps, especially in the world of computing.
Absolutely. And this is where Alan Turing enters the scene. A mathematician, a code breaker, a true genius who had a massive impact on the field.
So Turing was the one who came up with the idea of the universal machine.
Yeah. I mean, think about computers before Turing. They were built for very specific tasks. Turing flipped that idea on its head. He proposed this theoretical machine, a universal machine, that could theoretically perform any calculation, any task, as long as it was given the right instructions.
And those instructions, that's what we now call software, right?
Yeah, bingo. Turing's concept basically birthed the idea of software, and with it, the flexibility we have today with computers. His work really paved the way for the computers we know and love.
So Turing was the brains behind the concept, but then we have Conrad Zuse. Now, he was the one who actually built a programmable computer, right? The Z3, I think it was called.
That's right. 1941, smack dab in the middle of World War II, Zuse built the Z3 in Germany. And this thing, let me tell you, it was a beast.
Beast in a good way, I'm assuming.
Well, in terms of its size, definitely. It took up a whole room. Imagine all those mechanical parts, relays clicking away, and get this, they used to have to cool the thing down with, like, a bicycle pump.
A bicycle pump, seriously.
No kidding! Read it in an old interview with one of the engineers who worked on it. Talk about a different era.
Wild. So we've got these early pioneers, but there's a huge shift that happens later, right? Making computers smaller, more powerful.
Right. We have to talk about the transistor and the microchip. These two innovations revolutionized the field.
So the transistor, that was like a tiny switch.
Pretty much. Before transistors, computers used these bulky vacuum tubes to control electricity. Transistors were way smaller, more efficient, and more reliable, which meant you could build smaller circuits. And smaller circuits meant smaller computers.
So the transistor was the key to shrinking things down.
Exactly. And then building on the transistor, we get the microchip. Imagine thousands, even millions of those tiny transistors packed onto a single chip. This is where computing power really started to take off.
And then from the microchip, we got the microprocessor, the brains of modern computers. That was in the 1970s, right?
Yeah, the microprocessor revolutionized everything. Suddenly, you didn't need a team of scientists in a giant room to use a computer. Companies like IBM, Apple, and Microsoft started making personal computers, bringing computing power to everyday people. It changed how we worked, learned, lived. It was a huge cultural shift.
Definitely. And then, not long after, boom, we get the internet in the 1990s, connecting all those personal computers, creating this vast network of information and communication.
The internet really changed how we interacted with computers. It wasn't just about what you could do on a single machine anymore. It was about connecting with others, sharing information, accessing a whole world of knowledge. And then things got even more mobile with laptops and, of course, the smartphone.
I mean, now we carry incredibly powerful computers with us everywhere we go.
Right in our pockets. And that's just the beginning. Today, we're talking about AI, quantum computing, edge computing. The pace of innovation is just accelerating.
Yeah, let's unpack those a bit. First up, AI, or artificial intelligence.
So AI is all about making computers, well, enabling machines to learn, adapt, even make decisions. It's already changing the way we live, how we work, and it's just going to become more and more integrated into our lives.
It's a bit unsettling sometimes, right? Like, how much power are we giving to machines?
It definitely raises some big questions about the future of work, ethics, and society as a whole. But it also offers incredible possibilities for progress in so many areas, like healthcare, research, and even art.
Okay, so then there's quantum computing. Now, this is where things get really futuristic, right?
Yeah.
What exactly is quantum computing?
Well, it's a whole different way of thinking about computation. It utilizes the principles of quantum mechanics, which, let's be honest, are pretty bizarre, but they allow these computers to perform calculations at speeds that would take traditional computers, well, maybe forever.
So faster than anything we can even imagine right now.
Pretty much. And this speed unlocks the potential to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges. Imagine developing cures for diseases, designing new materials, understanding the universe in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Wow. And what about edge computing? How does that fit into the picture?
Edge computing is all about bringing the processing power closer to the data source. So think about all those smart devices, self-driving cars, industrial sensors. Instead of sending all that data to a central server, which can be slow and prone to security risks, edge computing lets them process information locally, making them faster, more reliable, and more secure.
So it's like decentralizing the brain power, spreading it out to the edges of the network.
Exactly. It's a crucial technology as we become more and more reliant on interconnected devices.
Makes sense. And it all ties back to this idea of rapid advancement, doesn't it? I was reading an interview with Elon Musk, and he said, and I quote, "The pace of progress in artificial intelligence is incredibly fast. It's growing at a pace close to exponential, and the future is going to be stranger and more fascinating than we can imagine."
He's got a point. I mean, look how much has changed just in the last few years. AI is already everywhere, in our phones, in our homes, recommending what we watch, listen to, even buy. And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
It makes you wonder where we'll be in 10, 20 years. Are we talking about biocomputers, neural implants, or something we haven't even thought of yet?
It's really hard to say with any certainty, but the possibilities are, well, endless, and maybe a little scary too. I mean, imagine computers integrated into our bodies, augmenting our abilities, or even merging our minds with machines. It raises a lot of ethical questions, right?
Absolutely. It's like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative. And it all started with those clunky, room-sized calculators. It's amazing to think about how far we've come from those early pioneers to where we are today.
And it's not stopping here. This journey of innovation, this evolution of computers, it's a testament to human ingenuity, our constant drive to push boundaries, explore the unknown, and the story isn't over. Not even close.
We're all part of this unfolding narrative. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question. Given the breakneck speed of technological change, what role do you see yourself playing in shaping the future of computing? It's something worth thinking about. And until next time, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.